Yes, we're celebrating Housing Week, and what a story there is to tell. Nearly a quarter of Singapore's population
can get a flat right away, so long as they don't want a particular one in a place of their own choosing. The task now...
嘿，头好像在讲电话嘞。
是嘞，他是不是在跟大老板帮我们讲话啊？
Hello and welcome to episode 1 of Fund Hour, Sydney's very own crowdfunding web series. I'm Shivam, that's Valerie, and he's Jeremy, and we are your hosts for today's episode. So guys, what exactly is Fund Hour?
We're going to sit a filmmaker down, ask her all sorts of questions, get her to tell us her favorite films, her friends, talk about her friends, her family, her friends.
Getting to understand what gets a filmmaker, like gets them to tick, really get to the core of like their influences, their vision, and what they're planning to do next.
Yeah, and we have a special guest with us. Nobody knows who this special guest is except the three of us. And of course, the most important thing in Fund Hour,
the funding bit.
Yes, of course.
Because why are we here? Why is it called Fund Hour? It's for the filmmaker to be able to finance their next project.
If you're a filmmaker based in Southeast Asia and you're looking for funding for your new short form project, whether it be a web series or
music
a
video,
short film, Fund Hour can help you secure the funding you so desperately need.
Exactly. So I guess it's time to bring on our first filmmaker. We'll let Valerie do the honors.
Wei Ting is an editor, screenwriter, and director based in Singapore. Her debut directorial effort in the short film Cash won her Best Director at the 2018 National Youth Film Awards, and the film was also in competition at the prestigious Clemont-Ferrand International Short Film Festival. Her other film credits include Still Standing, which is part of the NVPC 15 Shorts project, Falling, and Passenger, in which she was a writer for both. Her favorite films are Before Sunrise, Whiplash, Ohio, Florida Project, and Adaptation. And her favorite filmmakers are Charlie Kaufman, and can we wager a guess?
I know.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
Charlie Kaufman, right?
You know what? I think that's a good answer. Let's lock that in, Valerie. What is it?
Well, I guess you guys would be really surprised that the last filmmaker as well is Charlie Kaufman.
Let's go! Amazing.
That's amazing. I think we've made everyone wait long enough. Let's not keep people waiting. Let's bring on Wei Ting.
Hi.
Hello. Hi, Wei Ting. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're good. We're right here in Pixel Studios. We'd like to thank IMDA for allowing us to use this. Where are you now? Are you at home?
Yeah, in my room, which I'm moving out of very soon. So this will be the last time you're documenting this place.
Wow. Where are you moving to? You've been looking for some places, right, recently?
Yeah. But yeah, there's too much information. But yeah.
What's your new address?
So how have you been keeping yourselves busy in the last 1 year? Yeah, about that last COVID year?
Actually, like I really like the pacing. I mean, I know it's a very tough time for a lot of people, but for me, it really allowed me to work at the pace that I much prefer, and do some like directing actors classes with Sundance. Actually, was like one of the best class that I've ever been in, and things like that. Yeah.
So we're gonna show your very first debut film, Cash, and this won you a huge amount of awards. So basically, Cash is, from what we know, is about a group of cashiers that are protesting the supermarket by locking themselves in the supermarket overnight. So, without further ado, let's just take it away. Here is Cash.
这是我们在 supermarket 做工做到最晚的一天。
李莎，你们在搞什么？怎么那门不能开？李莎，
那边，
你们在搞什么？
你把工作还给我们，我们就开门。
又是这件事情，我不是说了咯，这个的名字我
知道啊，我没有要跟你谈的，去叫大老板来，我自己跟他谈。
这是我们超级市场的大姐大丽莎，她照顾这个超级市场的时间，比这边全部的 cashier 加起来的时间还要久。
你也不是不知道的，现在是工作太少了，人太多了。
你还是不懂是不是？我们这边全部加起来都几百岁的人了，做了一辈子的 cashier， 你要我们做什么？
这是二姐，二姐有2个很可爱的小孩，她的老公不喜欢她出去做工，可是我很喜欢二姐出来做工。
这里除了我每个都跟你做超过10年呢，特别是大姐的你现在讲要吵就吵，我彪那你可以这样跟头讲话，现在什么都不管了，你还头？
这个是阿霞，阿霞以前做过清洁工人，也洗过厕所。她说她很喜欢这份工，因为每天可以摸到很多的钱。
还有小妹，你让她怎么样在外面找其他的工作？到底有什么东西是 machine 做得到，我们人做不到的？你去不去？
不要害我啦！
你不去的话，
我现在讨论，
我把全部的冰箱给你关掉啊！
大姐 steady，
我真的会关的啊！你去不去？
我好像走了嘞。
头好像在讲电话嘞。
是嘞。他是不是在跟大老板跟我们讲话啊？
这就是我们的头，我们其实一直都很喜欢头的，因为他很照顾我们，我们也很照顾他。
我跟你讲咯，你要 trust 大姐吗？别人现在什么时候了，还在讲电话？
不过大姐说，这一次
妈咪很快就要回来了啦。
要回来了。
头他太让我们失望了。
哎呀，大家不用担心。我以前在总部做的时候，大老板是跟我们一起排罐头的，他一定会 support 我们的。
Patut ya.2块是加块7加1块4毛半加1.9块，我这里7块4毛半，我这边3块2，
我的6块9毛半，所以全部 加起来就17.6块。
一人4块4块4，呀，4块4。
4块4。至少啊。
哎呀，我的3000不够嘞。
哦，我这边有，那还差多少
？3毛。
啊。来，刚刚好。
可以了。哎，把钱收起来了。
这个鱼很好吃啊。
是啊。
跟你讲哦，这个很贵的嘞，我买一个这个哈，我可以买新鲜的鱼2条了。
那我可以买1桶啊。
1桶什么鱼这么便宜？
对哦。
昆明咯。
昆明那有吃。
哦。
哎，跟拉西罗马吃很好吃的嘞。
哎，他讲哦，下个月哦，买toilet paper， 买2条送1条哎，
这样便宜啊！哎，这样你记住哦，帮我留9包哦。
9包？有这样多包，到哪里落晒啊？
不了，你大概累死了。便宜吗？可以放在 store 哦。哎，toilet paper 很快就用完的嘞，你不要以为说哦1包哦，5块的。
一个人怎么搬9包回去？
哎，小妹啊，小妹，你帮我拿了哈。
小妹，你在看什么？
来了哈。
那个就是大老板哈。
那个不是我们的老板。
是啊。
跟我来。
哎呦。
李莎，开门，我带 management level 的来了。李莎，阿霞，
Auntie Lisa,
开门呢。
this is Vignesh from management, huh? Auntie Lisa, you want to open the door and come up? We can talk outside, huh?
我在这边。
我们只要跟大老板谈。
Auntie Lisa, you don't know the details of the compensation package you're offering it. I'm very sorry about how you all find out, okay?
赔偿金。
赔偿金啊？赔偿金？你多少呢？
多少啊
？Just come out, we can talk.
多少啊？The
company is willing to give you a package of up to 12 months of your current salary, okay?
阿涛
，12个月嘞，出来啦。
12个月是多少？18000嘞。
Now you get 12 months, huh?
1万，小妹，18000，有没有漂亮？
我们不接受。
啊？哎，大姐，你为什么不要接受？
才1年的薪水嘞，我们可以等多久？等着找个工作为止喽。然后呢？然后什么？这怎么办？怎么办？什么不接受？18000嘞。
On top of that, the government will give you a training grant for your children, education grant for your children.
18000嘞
！Difficult time, okay? You all come out, I can all the paperwork here can sign.
不要开门，你小妹，小妹，
把锁匙给我。
小妹，给我。
Auntie Lisa, we don't come out right now. The company is not only going to respect the offer, but I'm going to call the police and report it as a criminal offense.
Police.
报警了，小妹，你有没有搞错？你帮小妹，把锁匙给我，小妹，不要跑了，小妹，18000嘞，姐，小妹，阿霞。
开门呐！
大姐，
你怎么？要吓人呐！啊！
我们接受了，然后呢？以后就不用再等货牌，不用再担心你们白不白人，不用数钱数到手指黑黑，不用。
总统的脸全部要朝上，生的冷的要分开放。抬东西的时候不可以丢，面包压的话会扁掉。罐头鸡蛋分开放，早前一定要算2次。厕所每个礼拜轮流洗，没有白人要扣薪水。
It's movie magic.
You guys look good, but you are also like fading into
I
the
know,
background.
right? So you see, after we took your shirts, I realized that it's green.
But honestly, very stylish.
Yeah, like
it suits me very well.
He loves it. Oh yeah.
He's so into it.
Oh,
really?
Shivam has a. You ask her.
Right.
You want to buy it?
If I help fund this movie, do I get the shirt?
You can discuss. It's up for grabs.
You wanted to?
If he's gonna get, I wanted to.
You know, he really likes the shirt. Shivam really likes the shirt.
Oh, that's great. I'll let Anthea, the designer of the of the uniform, know, because it's actually custom designed for the film by my friend. Yeah, I was like inspired by all the like NTUC, Sheng Siong, Giant, but then like with a twist of like what we feel will be nice for the film. Yeah, because like the location you can't really do much because it's a supermarket. So like the actors become like the art, you know, like they're moving and we're always seeing them. So like that was by Anthea Ng.
So what gave you the idea of doing like the film Cash?
It was actually part of Temasek 2020. So like they were like commissioning filmmakers to sort of make something in response to the theme Beyond 2020, which is like back then was like 2017. So it was like about the near future, and which is not too far lah. I mean, who knew that 2020 will have the pandemic? So nobody could have like preempted that. But then my mom is like a cashier, working at Sheng Siong supermarket. So the film is sort of like mildly inspired by her. A little bit worried that like her job will be replaced, and actually, I mean, she used to be like a full-time housewife. So like ever since she started doing cashier, a bit in contrary to what Jeremy was saying, like she actually enjoyed it a lot. I feel like I personally feel that she found like a new purpose in her life and things like that. Yeah, and like she enjoyed like talking to her colleagues and the little things like making the bread puffier, memorizing the time code and things like that. She took a lot of pride in it. So then like I wanted to make this sort of in response to that. Yeah.
So how did you approach the sort of comedy aspects of Cash? Because it's a film that is very funny but also has a lot of heart to it and some serious moments of sort of self-reflection on Singapore's economy and current, status. So how did you sort of balance the tones of the film and the comedy?
I mean, I didn't actually intend it to be like funny. It turned out to be like that. So then like, I feel it's a lot to do with the chemistry between the actors. Because they're actually like, the 4 of them are theatre actors, veterans, and they have been working together for like 10 over years. So then like, when they come together, it's just like very noisy. And they have like that kind of chemistry that you find in like aunties, like they just keep talking, and then like sometimes during rehearsal I'm just like, can I just like continue? But that's why I casted them, because it's so natural and so like endearing. I think that brought out the comedy that you are talking about. It's not so much intended, it was more like dark humor that I was going for. I think. Yeah.
Since it takes place at like an actual like supermarket or like store, what's like the logistics behind actually shooting that? Because I imagine that you can't shoot when it's really, really busy.
Yeah, actually we shot it in a 24-hour supermarket. So it's like the U-Star supermarket, Clemont. And then, yeah, I don't know if you've been to any U-Stars. They're like opening up more. I don't know if you guys have been to any U-Stars, but they are like opening more in like less mature estates. Yeah, I think they're trying to like, because like most of the mature estates are like monopolized by the other supermarkets. So like, but they do have like a lot of stores, and the manager was really cool about us shooting there. Yeah, and because it's a 24-hour supermarket, so it hasn't actually ever been closed before. So we actually were shooting while they were running the store still, in the middle of the night.
While you're writing Cash, how long did it take, and what films did you look to for inspiration in Cash? Were there any films you sort of look both in a visual sense and a writing sense overall? Surely some sort of media might have informed or inspired you.
Yes, definitely. And if you guys watch that film and I say it, you guys will be like, yeah, it's Little Miss Sunshine. Do you, any of you?
Yeah, absolutely love the film.
Yeah, it's a great film.
Yeah. So that was a.
Becky Bellamy in it. Okay, never mind.
Me as the guy who wants to like
be
a
character.
pilot.
Yeah.
Who's colorblind.
Yep.
Yeah. The color.
You're the new colorblind.
You would have shut up then. Okay.
Yeah, but that was a very ensemble driven like kind of film, and I really love this kind of ensemble films. Yeah.
Thank you for like all those insights that you've given us on the filmmaking process. Now we're going to be actually watching some behind the scenes footage to really understand like a bit more about what happens behind the camera with the crew and everyone involved that's not in front of the camera.
Yeah. Take it away.
A little something more. I've got a plan in mind, a special thing in store. Delightful, clap my hands, get up and play. 'Cause you never feel this way. It's my lucky day. It's my lucky day. It's my lucky day. Don't need a pot of gold, a rabbit's foot or to be told. It's my lucky day. It's my lucky day. Slept in 'cause I don't care, and didn't make the bed. Sip coffee on my couch, what can I 'cause you never feel this way. It's my lucky day.
Thank you, Wei Ting.
You know, like it's been so long since I saw this. Like just now you were asking about like how do you pull off like such a skill, right? It's really the people. I think like I'm so attracted to the idea of like community all the time because I work very closely in like small communities, and I think that's very similar to like my mom's working environment and everything. Like it's this kind of vibe. Yeah, everyone really like helped make the film happen. Yeah, they're all like friends and favors that we pull up. Yeah.
And I can really see the energy of you. You mentioned the 4 actresses are from the theatre, right?
Yeah.
I think it really shows you need that kind of energy, larger than life, and
yeah, and it's not just them. It's like all the crew, every single person on the project. We really like handpicked, and I feel like they bring on together like that same kind of energy that we're looking for, which was what made like the spirit of the film come alive. I think. Yeah.
Okay, let's not waste time. We're gonna bring on the mystery guest now. I know you've been waiting for this for very long, right? So, okay, mystery guest. Okay, before we bring on the mystery guest, we're gonna make you guess. Can you guess who the mystery guest is?
I'm so curious. I cannot guess. Yeah, I really. Why you I don't know.
Make 2 guesses. Make 2 guesses.
Is he a filmmaker?
No. No.
Not a filmmaker. Then I have no answer already.
It's not Charlie Kaufman.
It's not Charlie
Kaufman. Not Charlie Kaufman.
Sadly,
he's a diva. He's actually a huge diva.
Okay, one last guess. This person has watched your short film. At least once. This person has watched your short film.
So broad. Could be my mom.
I'm so curious right now. You say, like my mom. Like that's the only. But she was talking at me to eat lunch, so I don't think it's my mom.
Ari's mom is.
My producing skills not so good lah. I wouldn't have been able to get in touch with your mom without you.
That's true.
Bypass you to get to your mom. Wow, I tell you, that'd be a top producer. Anyway, let's bring on the mystery guest right now.
Okay.
Hello， 大家，我是阿豪，我在一个 supermarket 做 cashier。我看了那个 video 后，我的感想是说，就算有一天有机器可以取代我们这一些，不能取代的就是我们这个人方面的这个东西啦。因为我们可以跟那个顾客讲话聊天，就是一个好像一个人与人相处的东西。加上我们又可以帮他们把东西包得好好啊，因为有些他们如果自己包，他不会包他把鸡蛋跟那些硬的东西放在一起包了，拿出去撞一下，东西全部就破就烂掉了嘛。这种东西你一定要有我们这种有经验的帮他们弄好分开所以就想了想，机器不是不好啦，可是少了这个人与人的相处的话，我觉得对 customer 来讲，他们会比较吃亏啦。老实讲那个 video 讲说裁员要赔你赔到1年我觉得应该没有这么好的东西的啦，因为我们很多都是想做到月底就不用来了那想了想，真的是我们做这行是啦，要去 upgrade 啦，不去 upgrade 没有技术的话新的东西来的话，我们就被淘汰啦。不过一向来我们都有在试那种新的 system， 现在那种也是有 automatic 的嘛 ，customer 自己去 scan， 然后我们只是在那边看，至少一个人可以看4-5个台酱，还是会有工作做啦。我觉得如果还是这样的模式还好，不过如果全部你是要用机器人取代的话，我觉得应该是还是做不到啦，还是需要有我们的 cashier 在那边帮忙啦。
太棒了！So, what do you think?
No, it really
Any
unexpected, but this is probably the best like thing I could hear, like because I always wondered also like how did if a cashier watched it, how would they feel and things like that. So yeah, and like the egg thing my mom always talk about. So, so
actually, we got this. This cashier is from Shengshong.
Oh really?
Yeah. Where your mom goes in Shengshong, is it?
Yeah. It's thanks for this, because I feel like sometimes it's like you forget like who you're making it for after a while. Yeah.
Hope you like it.
Thank you.
So maybe let's move on with the second half of the Q&A. We're going to ask you a bit more about yourself, your filmmaking, and but before that, can we take? Yeah.
So, who would you say is your most direct non-filmmaking influence in terms of your work?
Sorry, I actually couldn't hear the second part. I think because of the mic.
So, are there any other creatives outside of filmmaking that have a big impact on your work and your ideas? Like a musician, an author, a poet?
TikTok star.
Yep. Instagram influencer.
Wow. Yeah, of course. A range. I'll say, like, I really like the way. Okay, maybe Vincent Van Gogh is a big one. Fernando Pessoa. And I really like even like YouTube. Like I watch this just like tech YouTuber called MKBHD, and he reviews like. You guys know? Do you guys know? Like Marcus Brownlee. Yeah. So it's very simple. Like he just review like laptops and like smartphones and like the latest gadgets. But then like the way he makes it is so like easy for people to watch, to consume and understand the entire trend and like the world, how it is growing. I think it's like more than just like a review. So then like these little things like keeps me going, I guess. Yeah.
Actually, I have a question about your.
Because sometimes I think film can be a bit like self-indulgent, but then like it's an art to like how do you like make people feel something at the end of the day. I think that's
I kind of like the fact that because you mentioned something about your theater. I think you have a very special background in theater, right? Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, I was trained in Drama Box, which is a local Mandarin theater that do a lot of like community theater. Yeah, so then like back then when we were like 17, I think like I spent like 4 years there, and like it's very good training, very grounded training. Like every weekend we'll go to like the rehearsal space and we'll like mop the floor with our hands and legs, like just like on the floor and like to start the day. Then we'll like warm up and then we'll like do like vocal trainings, understand like drama and theater, like the space and everything. Yeah, so like that's like a very different environment, I would say, as compared to after I come out and do my own thing. Yeah. But what about it that you're interested to know about? It is a very big world, so I don't know where to start.
I don't know how you cross over from theater to film. What were some of the influences that you brought over to film, directing, maybe?
I think, I feel like theater is very process driven. So it's very you really take the time to like understand that piece of work. You take the time to like communicate about the different understandings among different stakeholders in the project and their interpretation of the piece of work, and then you kind of like find that common ground and things like that, which I feel like is pretty much what film should be also, and what it is in certain frameworks and projects, but it's not so common. Yeah, so then like I really enjoy the community aspect of theater. in drama boss, we do like quite a bit of community theatre. So like my favorite times were really like when we like go to Toa Payoh, go to Bukit Gombak, just like the Heartland area, and we will set up stage. Like we'll put straw mats for the audience and prepare tea, and then like we'll do a skit for them about like Singapore, or just like about like what the challenges that we have like right now lah. And then like make some commentary sometimes, like is it in a comedic way. And then like you will draw crowds, and then you'll have people from the HDB just like looking down and watching the show. So and then sometimes you set it until pretty already, the bicycle will just like cycle across, like it's just like very unrehearsed and very raw. But like that's the energy that I really miss lah. So I think like a lot of times when I work in film, I like to bring in theatre actors because I feel like they bring that kind of like very grounded energy with a very good foundation in what they do lah. Yeah.
So do you encourage a lot of improv in your films then, in terms of actors? Do you encourage them to sort of, maybe veer off script a bit and make it their own, or are you someone that is very sort of strict with what happens on the page and presenting it to screen?
Very, very improvisation driven. Like Cash was like half improv, but the script has to be strong in the first place for the improvisation to happen. So that you still hit the like key plot points. But then like okay, so another filmmaker that I really like is Sawkin. Actually, he does like more series. But lately a lot of movies also. And he's very good at like, writing dialogues. But then for him, it's like every single word have to be like exactly how I write it, because there's like a symphony to it. Like it's actually like music to him instead of like just dialogue. Yeah, but then I'm like quite the opposite lah. I like it when actors bring in their own sense of humor and their voice and work it as theirs lah. Yeah, it usually make it like with my brain I can't like think for like 10 different people, 10 different characters. Sometimes they bring yeah.
So
more raw
Sawkin
stuff.
has a very sort of stylized way of dialogue, much like Tarantino, where he's not going for realism, he's going for a punchy sort of vibe. But I feel like with your films, I get more of a naturalism sort of vibe in terms of the writing. And that can make it greater for improv to occur, because no one is being forced to talk in a certain way or like speak, or not written in the sense that is unrealistic.
That was just a statement.
Yes.
So like if you do both the writing and directing and editing, then what do you think is like, do you think that you think differently as you do, like obviously you think differently as you do the different roles, but what's like the biggest difference between those three? Yeah,
that's a good question.
That's the end of the question.
That's a good question. I think they're all the same. It feels the same to me. But of course I have to be very conscious to take off my writer's hat and do my director's homework. And if I get complacent, I will like miss bringing it to another level. Because like writing, directing, and editing are like 3 different stages, and usually you have to like explore it to the like more thoroughly, and then in the next stage you will like find blind spots that you're like, oh shit, I didn't think about this. And so that's why those are 3 separate stages. And a lot of rewriting happens when you're directing and when you're editing as well. So, but to me, they're all like very like writing kind of work.
Actually, I wanted to say you've written some, you've directed some. I really, really like Falling a lot. I watched it a few times at the cinema and on my laptop.
Jeremy is a hopeless romantic.
Oh.
I really like you wrote that one, but Kang Sheng directed it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm very intrigued by the 2 characters, where they come from, what kind of job she actually does. Like she looks like dressed for like a paralegal, but she's carrying a tote bag, which looks like she's working for a gallery, and then
carrying a tote bag is a paralegal.
I've seen a lawyer hold tote bags.
Oh really? Okay. I really wanted to ask you, are you more like the victim, like the needy girl, or the career girl?
You really
Like label the characters is like hilarious. Wow. Falling was a hard film to make because like it was a bit like autobiographical. So then but I feel like I was pretty much like I could imagine both roles. That's why I could like write the dialogue for both. I think there's everyone is both in like different relationships. I think I'm just always.
So, Wei Ting, we hear that you have a new film in the works about an uncle and auntie falling in love, and apparently even has some returning actors from your previous works. So, why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah. So, thanks for asking and everyone for like listening. This film is called Love at 50. In Chinese, it's called 中年情. And it's as the title says, it's essentially about like falling in love at that age. And I think like right now with a lot of movies that we see is usually romance between like you know I don't know if you've seen this. This is one of my
I love this film.
My favorite film. Yeah. Oh yeah, we are hopeless romantic.
Yeah.
Jeremy. I
love it.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah, she was so good. But yeah, so I think because I'm pretty inspired by this film actually. 蓝色大门 Bukit Crossing. It's very like that feeling of when you are just like discovering love and things like that. That is very applicable to that age group. And also we see a lot of films like Before Sunrise, like also one of my favorite, where we see that people fall in love and they are usually of like a certain age group. And even like this the very recent 刻在我心底的名字 刻在你心底的名字 I don't know if you've seen and I just felt like it's on Netflix. So the genesis of like starting this project is really because I felt like romance in the middle age is not being explored enough and not being like told enough, like stories there. And yet like they actually like I don't believe that flame in you dies when you are 50 or 60. I think Jeremy will agree.
我不干了。
回来。Yeah, so that's really. Yeah, but that's really the reason why I'm developing this project called 中年情. It's between this auntie who is a kopitiam drink store auntie, who actually like has 2 kids and they are like pretty grown up like me, and have their own lives. So like her life is very like routine driven, and where she works at the kopitiam and serves the customers, and she runs a very like tight ship at the store. And until she met this truck driver who is just a relief truck driver because the original truck driver couldn't make it that day, and this guy called Ah Bao, who is like also in his 50s, like knocked her routine into shambles when he delivered the wrong kind of bread, which our main character, who is called Muiki, like can't deal with because of her character lah. She's a very strict, very serious person. So then like, and which is the complete opposite of Appa, who is a bit more careless, more clumsy, and then things happen. Yeah, so that's the film that I'm developing, and I wanted to explore the romance in this age group. Yeah.
So, what was it like location scouting for a project like this? Because obviously, kopitiams are scattered throughout the city, but what were you looking for in specific kopitiam that you settled on that you want to shoot in?
Yeah, so the location that I'm looking at is like something that I think the whole point is for us to see the kopitiam culture a little bit differently from how we are used to seeing it. So then like a kopitiam that is very recognizable in terms of like it is in every part of Singapore. Like, you know, the drink store with like 3 to 4 auntie and uncles like mending it. Actually, like the film is not just about her. I think there's a bit of interesting chemistry also inside the store, where like they all serve different function. Maybe like there's one auntie who is very chatty and always ignoring her chores, and there's that uncle who is like trying to help cover up for the other auntie, while Muiki, which is our main character, is like just like trying to get things done. I think that's the feeling that you get. So I think any stalls that that allow for that realistic vibe will be something that I'm looking for. Yeah.
Sounds like an ensemble cast again, huh?
Yeah, it's a little bit like I think like you can't really always it's very hard for me to like see a character as a standalone thing. Like the environment that she's in, like the reason why she's the way she is, and how she like has a sort of like community already, like probably informs us of who she is and how she will turn out in this relationship that Apao is trying to get her into. Yeah.
But have you actually like witnessed like auntie uncle romance actually happening in real life? Like really like observe?
Observe.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're watching people every
You
day.
like to observe old people.
I don't know. I just like
You stop people and watch them fall in love.
Yeah.
Do you have like telescope or like binoculars? No, but actually,
like where do they go? Like let's say, sorry.
No.
Like where do they go for? Where do they go for like a night out, or what do they do?
Actually, it depends. It's also not that team. So actually in order to write this project more realistically and to understand that age group, because I think they behave still very different from like our generation. I actually did a lot of oral interviews with people of that demographic, aunties and uncles, through my father's contacts, and after that we expand from there more. And like I interviewed like single, remarried, divorced, and even aunties and uncles who have never been in a relationship, which by the way, Apao, as in the male lead in this film, has never been in a relationship. Yeah, so I think no, the character.
Oh, character. Okay. Sorry.
I'm not gonna spill beans like that for the actor, but
sorry. People
yeah, like yeah. So the male lead, the character Apao is his name, and he actually hasn't been in the relationship, which Muiki only find out later on, in the story. Yeah. So then like in order to understand their emotional like status and sorry, did I mean something?
No. Just some stupid comment about I'm saying your actor doesn't look too bad. Quite a handsome uncle. How come never been in a relationship before?
Yeah, that's also one thing that I need to really work on in terms of like convincing the
Uglify your actor, is it?
Wow.
It came up in a lot of discussions. Whatever you mentioned. So
Really?
I think he'll be
as in people find him too handsome to be someone who has never been in a relationship, is it?
Yeah, a little bit put together. I think. Yeah.
Yeah,
but
I remember your actor from Still Standing. He's from Still Standing, right?
Yeah. Both of them.
Yeah. I remember him.
Yeah. So okay, like actually the reason why I started writing this is also because during Still Standing I was like trying to cast an ensemble, right? I think I was trying to cast them in like 1.5 weeks. And it was like so tough. Then my casting manager was like, "Hey, can you don't write an ensemble piece anymore? Like, can you write something with just 2 people?" So then, while I was like auditioning the 2 of them, because when I do audition, I actually don't really do like just a straight on performance audition. I always do chemistry audition. So like I actually casted Doreen, the actress first, as Mrs. Lim in Still Standing, and then I arranged for 3 men for her to audition with. Then I say, hey, come and pick your husband. So I was trying to see which one she has more chemistry with in terms of like as a husband and wife thing. And then when I was conducting the audition for this one, I really felt something between them in terms of the chemistry. So then like that was when I started developing this project around the two of them. Because I thought like maybe there's something there in terms of like making it into a romance film instead. Yeah, but then to answer your previous question about like have I observed people that age, like when I but no, because when I was doing oral interview, I was so surprised. And like, so I met this lady who is also very put together, and she's so responsible. She's like so charming, and she's never been in a relationship like at this age. And I asked a lot more lah, of course. And like maybe it's just like fate. It could just be opportunities. It's just like how it is. Like there's so many possible reasons. Yeah. So then like I wasn't surprised that after a while, after interviewing a lot of people. And I think the way Singapore is also is a bit different in terms of how outgoing we are. Yeah, and with regards to your question about how people date in that age, I also interviewed this uncle who is like in his 50s, 60s, who also remarried, and they actually go and play table tennis at the community center. Like,
falling in love is a very visceral experience, right? How do you portray that both in writing and how do you plan to do that in directing? Also, I've never experienced that, so maybe I can also use some advice. Maybe I'll go play table tennis.
I think like it's very hard to say like you plan it in this way and then you want it to happen exactly like this in terms of directing romance. I feel like it's so when I was doing the class for like it's like online class with Sundance, but then like the instructor is someone who I really really admire, and like she told me that there was once when she was doing rehearsal with these two actors, and it's supposed to be like the scene is about them meeting for the first time and they're like sort of falling in love, but more of trying to understand each other first before you know, before in love and whatever. And when she was doing the rehearsal, she put them together in the same room. As long as they started talking to each other, she pull them away and say like, okay, you guys don't need to rehearse. Just come for the shoot on this day. Because she felt like that was what she wanted to capture and she didn't want to lose it in rehearsal. So yeah, like I think it involves a lot of strategies also in terms of how you find the most natural way to realistically portray a relationship and the intricacies of the relationship. Yeah.
With this new project, you know, what's the biggest challenge you think you'll face?
Getting enough funding.
Well, you've come to the right place.
You consider this an ambitious project? I mean, it sounds to me like pretty simple, just two characters, right? But
That's why my producer will come and say like, can you rewrite the script? Why do you need like 33 pages to tell this story? But to me, it's like
why do you need 33 pages?
Because I'm not starting it's like, okay, Falling is a romance also, right? But then I'm starting the story at a midpoint when they are breaking up. So then like I can really like excavate the relationship and the intricacies of the relationship from that point on. And it was already like 20 minutes plus. So then like for Appa and Muiki who starts out not even knowing each other, to the point where I shall not review what happened at the end, but then you know you do need the time. It's not just about falling in love. It's about more than that. Yeah, at this age between the two of them. Yeah, and because I feel like with the amount of research that was informing me that the story has to be more It can't just be like 2 people then spend the night and then like I don't know anything else about that. I think it's a bit of a different story. Yeah. So then like then there's my producer like, why do you need 3 colleagues? As in like, why do you need like 3 people working at a kopitiam? Can it be like 1, 2 people? Can they be serving the same role? Or like maybe then I was like that day I was like so out of budget. Then I just like thinking. Then I look at the tutu kueh store. Then I say, can she be selling tutu kueh? You know,
Okay, I've got one final question for you. Maybe share with our audience here why this film absolutely has to be made. What do you think the audience can really look forward to?
I think if for people of my generation or even younger, if you want to see your parents in a different light, this is where you can find out how they behave romantically. And at the end of the day, it's not that different from all of us. Yeah.
So we've really loved hearing about your like next project, and we would like to kind of also hear a bit more about like the proposed timeline that you have for your like production and post-production.
There's actually we wanted to shoot in March, and
like
finish the film this March. But I think there's a higher chance that we'll be doing it in June. Hopefully when we get enough funding. Yeah, I think that's the challenge right now. Yeah. So it will probably be done in November/December at end of the year. I think people will be able to see this film in certain smaller settings, but fast forward, I think we are hoping to release it next year during Valentine's Day in terms of for the online audience.
We'd like the audience to know that every person who contributes to this project, nobody will walk home empty-handed. Because for every contributor, there are a series of rewards, just like how it works in crowdfunding. So Valerie will do us the honors of sharing with the audience here what the rewards are or what Wei Ting will give you. So let's take it away.
For $30, we thank you sincerely for your support. For $50, your name appears in our closing credits. For $80, your name appears in our closing credits and you get invited to an intimate film screening. For $100, your name appears in our closing credits, you get invited to an intimate film screening, and you get 3 film postcards. For $200, your name appears in our closing credits, you get a chance to be invited to an intimate film screening, you get 3 film postcards, and you can attend one of the shoot days to find out what happens behind the scenes. For $500, your name appears in our closing credits, you get an invitation to an intimate film screening, you get 3 film postcards, attend 1 shoot day to see behind the scenes process, and you get the chance to have dinner with someone from the team to learn about their creative process.
And for all contributors, this is a very important piece of information. To contribute, simply go to www.paypal.me/SindyPay, SINDIEPAY, and leave your name, leave your number, and I don't think you need to leave anything else. just give us some money. Yeah, just give us. Yeah, I mean, we really look forward to your contributions, and this can be done anywhere in the world. And with that, we've come to the end of our first episode of Fund Hour. How was it for you guys? How was it for you, Wei Ting?
Really fun. And I'm just really thankful that you guys are helping with this, and yeah, it means a lot. Yeah, thank you, Cindy.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us. And if you want to catch another replay of this episode, you can go to the URL that you see.
We'll rewatch the best moments of this.
Yeah. Just click on the URL. We'll send it on. We'll share it on all the social media platforms as well. Yeah. So signing off. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Valerie.
And I'm Shivam. This has been Fund Hour.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.